Welcome to KX News on the Go. I'm Chance Stickland. The jury in the Nicole Rice trial has handed a verdict I didn't just read this like 5 times, right, Lucas? Welcome to KX News on the Go. I'm Chance Stickland. The jury in the Nicole Rice trial has handed in their verdict in the nearly 20-year-old cold case of the stabbing death of 18-year-old Anita Knutson. After roughly 5.5 hours of deliberation over 2 days, the jury in the Nicole Rice murder trial has returned a verdict of not guilty. An eruption in the courtroom followed.
We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant Nicole Erin Rice not guilty of the information dated at Grand Forks, North Dakota, this 26th day of March 2025.
All right, the reaction you just saw was quite the opposite on the other side of the courtroom. Anita Knutson's family quickly left and was escorted out of the courthouse and did not talk to the media. Rice, her family, and attorneys all told us they have no comment. And that was also the case for the prosecuting attorneys. After Rice's group left, they gathered outside the courthouse, as you can see, to lock hands in a prayer circle. The prosecution had a total of 25 witnesses testify, including Rice's aunt and uncle. The defense, however, only called one witness to the rest of their case yesterday afternoon. This not guilty verdict means Rice can never be charged criminally for the case ever again. The Knutson family could still sue Rice in civil court, but it's not clear if that'll happen. Jurors were given a police escort out of the courthouse. The Knutson family was at the trial all week long. This was a day they had long awaited for, nearly 18 years since Anita's murder, and more than 3 years since Rice was arrested and charged with Anita's murder. Now that change has been dropped. The judge told Rice that she was relinquished from bond conditions and free to go. The Nicole Rice trial wasn't the only court proceeding happening, though, in the state. Former Senator Ray Holmberg was sentenced in federal court to 10 years plus an additional 10 years of supervised release. As we previously reported, it was August of 2024 when Holmberg pled guilty to 1 count of traveling abroad with the intent to have sex with boys under the age of 18. Documents obtained by KX News show Holmberg traveled across the world using the name Sean Evans to exploit vulnerable boys more than a dozen times, and used his positions of power as a high school guidance counselor and state legislature to exploit adolescents, boys, and men. Holmberg lives in Grand Forks and has spent much of his last year on house arrest. And a federal court following this week, a judge also ordered Holmberg to turn over his Apple iPad and a Samsung phone. The defense has 2 weeks to appeal his sentencing. The North Dakota Senate, House, and Senate leadership put out a statement shortly following the sentencing. It reads in part, quote, Ray Holmberg's evil crime required reflection and careful review of policy to determine how best to combat crimes against children. In the coming months, we intend to do that with sober judgment and a firm resolve, end quote. If you'd like to read the full statement, you can head on over to our website at kxnet.com. Also this week, Kyle Kennedy, the man charged with sex crimes in Morton County, was also sentenced. After accepting a plea deal back in November, Kennedy was sentenced to 20 years, but he will only serve 10. If he commits another crime of any type, he could serve the full 20. Kennedy must also register as a sex offender, will be on lifetime supervised probation, and can have no contact with his victim, and this will serve concurrent with a federal sentence. He was given credit for the time he's already served, which is 222 days. You may remember Kennedy was accused of having inappropriate contact with 2 young boys who told investigators the abuse happened between 1998 and 2013. All right, let's switch gears. Weather now with Andre.
Well, thank you so much, Chance. And looking here in Dickinson at this time, we are seeing those partly cloudy conditions right now, and temperatures are at 26 degrees, and the winds are out of the east-southeast at 13 miles per hour, and expect these winds to kind of continue to be like this throughout the day today, so make sure you're hanging on to your hats, folks. And as we head over into Williston, we're also seeing those partly cloudy conditions too, and temperatures are at 31 degrees, and the winds are out of the east at 13 miles per hour. So also on the breezy side here too. Now we're continuing to see those clouds continue to be across the viewing area, and these clouds will just continue to thin on out as we progress during the rest of the day today. So we're expecting a lot more sunshine for those Thursday plans. Now as we head over into our current temperatures, our temperatures right now are mainly in the 20s and 30s, so it's relatively mild this morning, and it's because of that east-southeasterly flow, and we are seeing those winds around 5 to 15 miles miles per hour throughout the entire viewing area. Now, what's driving this? Well, we have an area of high pressure that is well to our south, and that's bringing us that southeasterly flow for right now. But however, this is going to be ahead of a cold front that's going to be pushing on through once we get into tonight into our Friday. And this cold front is going to continue to push its way towards the south and east, and that's going to cool temperatures off for the day on Friday. And ahead of this front, we are expecting some gusty winds, and behind this front, we are expecting some precipitation chances in the form of snow and or freezing rain. So this is something we're going to be watching very closely here at KX News, and we will see those cloudy conditions regardless as this feature continues to push on in. Now, the wind gusts throughout the day today will increase to around 20 to 40 miles per hour, and this is with sustained winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour. So make sure you bring in those smaller objects, and also make sure you hold on to your hats or anything like you may have to do throughout the day today, including walking your dog or maybe riding a bike. And once we get into the evening hours, we will start seeing those conditions improve as far as those gusty winds are concerned. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory in effect for our northern counties for Minot and Williston in the Highway 2 corridor from 1 a.m. on Friday lasting into 4 p.m. on Friday, and this is where we could see the greatest potential for that wintry mix, so make sure you're planning ahead for this potential. Now, we will continue to see those precipitation chances increasing for the northern tier counties, and even for our southern tier counties, we could be talking about some liquid precipitation, so that's something we're going to be watching very closely here, and this is going to continue throughout the afternoon hours and early evening hours, and that's where we will see the conditions calm on down. But we will continue to watch for the potential for some icing on the roadways during this period of time in our northern areas. So make sure that you are paying attention to the latest information that we are given from the Department of Transportation. Now, we will see a glaze of ice potential for our Friday for our northern tier counties, and for pretty much all of us, we're going to see the potential of seeing precipitation chances, at least the amount of precipitation being under a quarter of an inch for the entire viewing area for our Friday. So that's something to keep in mind. And our highs for today will be in the 60s, which means that our spring meter will be at level 4, and departure from normal will be around 10 to 30 degrees above normal. So how about that? And for our overnight, temperatures will drop on down into the 20s, and entering into our Friday, we will see those temperatures drop down into the 20s and the 30s and 40s across the area, and we will continue to see that cold stretch here in Wilson for the weekend, and that same thing goes for Dickinson as well, and we will see those clouds linger around. Now, for Minot, we will continue to see an overall cooling trend through the weekend with precipitation chances Friday and Saturday, and that same thing goes for Bismarck as well. So chance it looks like spring is just springing around.
It has sprung up. All right, for everyone here at KX News, have a good day.